Welcome, everybody, to All About Articulation, where we do a deeper dive into the articulation of some of your favorite action figures while glossing over things like sculpt. I live in New York City, and that's what you're hearing in the background. Welcome to All About Articulation, Take 2, where we do a deeper dive into the articulation of some of your favorite action figures while glossing over things like sculpt, paint apps, character history, accessories, because I suck at that, and there are already so many great reviews on YouTube who do that already, so I don't want to waste your time. And time is a terrible thing to waste. Today, we are reviewing the brand new Bandai SH Figuarts, the Mandalorian Season 2, Boba Fett. Look at this bad boy, huh? Got him in a couple of weeks ago. I've been playing with him. I was meaning to do a review, but I really wanted to play with him a little bit and really get the nuances of his articulation before I kind of threw a video together for you guys. And I love this figure, man. I love this figure. The second I got him, I unpacked him, and I put him up next to these three guys here. Look at this. Come on. Look at this. That's a squad right there, baby. That's a squad right there. Look at that. That's a squad right there. I call these the Randomlorians because they're a bunch of Mandalorians, but I think they all hate each other. I don't know. They're definitely not. It's a weird thing about Mandalorians. They don't all get along. Don't you think they would get along? Like Jedi, they all kind of get along. Mandalorians, they all kind of hate each other. Like, he fought him. I don't know if you guys saw, I've been keeping up with the Disney Plus shows. They fought each other over the Darksaber. They fought each other in that bar scene. What do you call it? They kind of, sort of not really, they're kind of frenemies. They were, okay, they kind of team up now. They kind of like each other. But she was part of Death Watch, and now she broke off, and now she's part of Night Owls. It's like, what's going on with these four? But that's okay, because in my imagination, this is a squad right here. So yeah, going from left to right, this is the Mafex Mandalorian. That, of course, is the SH Figuarts Boba Fett. This is Star Wars Black Series Bo-Katan, and this is Paz Vizsla, also Black Series. Let me just move this guy out. I love this figure. I really do. It's so clean. It's so nice. It just completely captures the character that we came to see on the show. He's got the little dad bod. You know, he's got a nice cloth skirt, but he does have the scarf around his neck is not made of cloth, and that does hinder articulation, which we will go into in a little bit. And I just want to make sure that I do cover that. So let's just jump right into the articulation. Going from the articulation is not great, but as I always say, I don't need my articulation to be super across the board for every figure. The articulation I prefer to be character specific. The example I always give is I don't need my Hulk to have Spider-Man level articulation. I don't need my, Paz Vizsla over here, the big guy, to have Mando level articulation, you know? So does he have articulation that's proper for the character? And I think this figure pretty much nails it on the head. And he looks great, and he scales perfectly with the Black Series and the Mafex Mando. So out of the box, this is pretty much how he comes, with the neck scarf on. He does come with an unmasked head, and the unmasked head doesn't give you too much more articulation, so I don't need to swap heads. If you need to see what it looks like, I'm sure there are other reviewers who do, and who will include that in their review. But I think this helmet is beautiful, and the proportions are just right. It just fits perfectly. With that neck piece scarf on, that plastic scarf, it does hinder a lot of articulation. So going from head to toe, this is as far up as he can go. There is a 2 points of articulation in the neck, one in the upper neck and one in the lower neck. But because that piece of that scarf is made of plastic, hard plastic, you can't get, well, it does come off pretty easily. But when you take the piece off, you get great range. So you can go look all the way up like this. You can go all the way down that way. If you can stay on, look all the way down. He can do a lot of motion, side to side, wiggle, all around. So the range is great. But once you put the scarf on, then you come into limitations. And now it's just that much and that far up. Basically no upwards mobility at all. So what I'm going to do, and I didn't want to do this until after I showed this part of the review, is that I'm going to swap out this plastic scarf out. And because it's just supposed to be a piece of black fabric or just a black scarf, it could be replicated and switched with a piece of fabric. So I'm going to make a soft cloth scarf for Boba, and I'm going to do that off camera. But what I just do is that I just, pretty much just take a, like if you have an old sock, I got an old black t-shirt that I've been cutting up into shreds. Whenever I need a piece here, a piece there for a cape or a scarf in this case. And if you want to try this at home, basically what it is that I just took a piece of cloth about 4.5 inches long. All right, it's about 4.5 inches and about, I would say, let's call that 1 inch wide. So 4.5 this way, 1 inch that way. I'm gonna fold it in half like that. And then I'm going to, I might just take a needle and thread and just sew it like that into a loop, and then twist it into a figure 8, right? And then once I put it into a figure 8, I'm going to put it around his neck. And then you'll see that go in to his neck there. And it pretty much, it'll look messy now, but when I do it off camera and I come back afterwards, you'll see that it pretty much looks like the scarf, right? And it won't hinder articulation. Then he could look up, he could look down, he could look side to side, and there's no hindrance to his mobility. So that's gonna be great. So I'll do that in a little bit after I go through his full articulation from his body. And I'll show you that off camera in a second. But let's go to his shoulders. He does have butterfly joints. And the butterfly joints, if you can see from the top, does move really well. You get that much rotation. But the cut of the sculpt is so wide, that shoulder piece there, it blocks any sort of movement for the arms to come in close. So you see what Mando's doing over here, where his hands could touch, where he could grasp one gun with 2 hands. Yeah, Boba's not gonna be able to do that. So if you want to create a look like that, it ain't gonna happen with this guy. But it's cool because he's got 2 guns, so that's all right. But as you can see, you get good butterfly motion. There's a bicep swivel. He doesn't go all the way around. Well, he can, but you're not going to reach straight up because of that piece right there. And it doesn't look good. I guess if you wanted to pop that out, you can remove that, but I ain't going to do that. I'm going to leave that. No, you can't. You really shouldn't, because that sculpt, that shoulder piece, takes up a lot of space. And you're going to see too much gappage if you were to remove that to create more articulation. So I wouldn't do that. So you're pretty much stuck with the limited amount of the limited range of articulation that his shoulders give you. Like I said, there is bicep swivel, and we know what that does. It goes all the way around. He does have a single jointed elbow, but it does hit more than 90. I would say about 75 degrees. Here it is from behind. Here he can hit a T-pose. Well, this is as far up as it goes. Yeah. So not much of a hot tub pose. But it's okay. He's Boba Fett. He's in a lot of armor. Okay? He ain't Spider-Man. He's like a heavily armored space knight. He does come with you got the ball joints in the wrists, both sides, although for his left hand, he's got these gauntlets that will hinder articulation. So he can't move his wrist up any further than that because of that piece right there. But he can move down, so he can do that. And this piece over here is going to hinder any sort of wrist motion going outwards. And you get a bit of view from the top. So basically, that's about as far back as you can go. And just give you a sense of just how limited his shoulder movements are. This is from top view. This is as far close as his arms can come together. That's about it. All right, let's move down to his abdomen. There's only a single ball joint in his lower waist. It's not much, I'm going to be honest with you. So, and I'll show you so you know when you're in neutral position, when you line up the bottom of the green armor to the top of the belt. So that would be, and it's pretty flush too, so you know exactly when it's in neutral position. So it's right there. So this is him, side view in neutral position, right? And you can tell, but he can move in a little bit or crunch forward because you can see, watch the green part. It slides in underneath the belt. So that's him crunching. Again, this is neutral and this is the crunch. Neutral, crunch. And this is as much range of motion as you can get from the crunch. If you watch carefully, that's it. From here to there. From here to there. And back extension, likewise, line up the bottom of the green armor to the top of the belt, right? And then, watch carefully, this is his back extension. That's it. Back extension, forward crunch. Not a lot of movement, right? We all know this. And as an articulation nut like myself, it's a little disappointing, but I have to remind myself, it is character accurate. This is Beskar armor, right? He's got a lot of he's got a lot of stuff, a lot of plates, a lot of metal, steel, armored plates on his body. He ain't gonna do yoga. He ain't gonna do gymnastics. You know. Let's move down underneath the skirt. Sorry, Boba. This is a little embarrassing. He does have the typical SH Figure Arts hip joints in terms of a split. That's as far out as his legs can go. Let me give you a little Glenn Webb action. As far down as he can go with his feet flat on the ground. Well, his feet can't really get too flat. So if you want to do a real Glenn Webb, this is as far as he can go. Let's move back. Let's move you guys back a little bit. Move your friends back. Oh, domino effect. All right, you stand there, you stand there. So that's about far down as he can go. And that's pretty much, and he can split and go further down because he doesn't have great ankle pivot. So that's his split. All right. Okay. What else is there? Oh yeah, he's got single jointed knees. His pants are very baggy, MC Hammer-like. So you're not gonna get too much. I think it does get in the way of some movement. But they did do a good job with the sculpt that he can kick his legs back. So you get more than a 90-degree bend for both knees. So that's good. That's how far his knees can bend. Okay. And all right, now we go down to the ankles, and we already alluded to the fact that these are not great ankles. That's about as much pivot as you can get. Like that, going this way, and that much going inwards. Again, that much out, that much in. So you do get some, oh, and here's as far out as his toes can point, and here's as far up as his toes can point, stretching that calf muscle. So you get some good motion on the toe pointing and toe pointing up, down and up, but not so much ankle pivot. So you're not going to get too much, if at all. You do get a little bit of pivot, but that's about it. So he is not the most well-articulated figure, but he looks freaking beautiful. Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna do the scarf thing. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so I just went ahead and I took that black piece of fabric I showed you in the beginning, and I went ahead and I sewed it. I bent it in half, and I sewed it into a loop. And I used purple thread because I ran out of black thread. But I guess it's good because at least now you can see how I stitched it. Can you see the purple threading? There you go. So it's just, again, it's just 4 inches long by 1 inch wide, and then I folded it in half, and then I just sewed it around it, the edges, so you could see how I did that. It's very easy, very quick. I'm not an expert sewer by any means. I barely remember my 7th grade home economics skills, but it still comes in handy every once in a while. So you see how I did it there? I'll probably go back and take out the purple thread and replace it with some black thread if I run out to like Walgreens or something like that. But at least now you can see how I did it. And so I'm just going to do this. All right, I'm going to pop his head off. There you go. Here's the original black plastic scarf. It's too hard and rigid, hinders articulation. We don't want this. Put that to the side. Here's the DIY soft goods scarf. I'm just going to turn it into a figure 8 like that, and then fold it onto itself like that. There you go. There you go. Make it into a nice loop. Run the neck through it like that. And then make sure that it pops in nice and flush. And there you go. It'll do for now, you know? So there you go. You got Boba Fett with his scarf. Excuse the purple threading, if you can see it. But I kind of like it, you know? It's like kind of DIY. It kind of fits his whole motif. But of course, you know, you don't want it. Use black thread. Don't be an idiot like me. But the good thing about the cloth, soft goods cloth scarf, is that now he can look up. He can look down. He can look side to side. He can look up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, select start, 30 lives in Contra. He can do anything. He's Boba Fett. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have fun with the action figures, because remember, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Talk to you later.